Hey folks, Jonathan here. Figured it was about update time on a few things, and I'll show everyone why I'm doing what I'm doing and why, what I'm jumping around to here. And there's reasons for everything I do. Sometimes just because I want to do it. But anyway, there's the gate off the other sedan delivery. We're still going to fix this one, but I may put that one on there temporary. Okay. Let me tell you what the big holdup is on this car and why I'm not driving it, why it's sort of on hold. Spare tire carrier right here. We're going to pull this out. Ooh, water, that ain't good. Anyway, we're going to pull this out. There's 4 drain holes in it, so it's alright. Okay, here it is out. You can see it just leaves a big hole here. My issue is this wonderful gas tank under here that was cleaned and relined probably 11-12 years ago, maybe a little longer. It's coming apart inside. The lining, the white sealer has come out and it's causing issues, plus the gas in it is old and smells really bad. I had a valve stick on this thing and been a push rod. Now I fixed that, but I don't have a doubt that it's because of the fuel and probably that liner. And when the engine's running and your air fuel mixture gets into your intake valve, it can get up the guide. And if it gets up the guide and it's something that makes it stick, then that just causes issues. So we, like I said, we fixed that. The engine running great, no problem. But we've got to do something about the tank, and that's where the big dilemma comes for me. This tank, as you can see, is recessed for the spare tire. On the other side of it, it's recessed for the rear end. So this is a pretty special tank. Now, the only thing they fit is sedan delivery and a station wagon. Now, I can buy that tank. The problem is that tank's $350. Now, we've got this big opening here that would be easy to put a $75 Ford Mustang tank in and just run this car, but I can't bring myself to do it, and that's why this car is just sitting here right now. I don't know how much of the opening I'd have to cut out to put that tank in, but it's just one of them deals. I don't have money just to burn on parts all the time, so I'm really don't know what to do here. It would be great to just go ahead and order the correct tank for it, but that's $350 that I really hate to spend on it. So that's where we stand on this project. I've got to make a decision, and I'm just having trouble doing it. It's is it worth spending an extra $250 to save a little bit of floorboard here, and go back original? And I'm sure that as viewers, there'll probably be about as many opinions back and forth as going on in my head, bouncing back and forth. So I'm sure some of you would say Mustang tank, and a lot of you would probably say replace the original. But so I don't know. It's one of them deals to where I've got to make a decision here pretty soon. I really want to be driving this thing, and that's really the biggest and only real hold up on this. The brakes are good, and I still need to put the windows in, a few other little things, but I mean, engine wise it's running good and ready to go. We've already got the new tires on it, and so I need to make a decision on that. But that's where we stand on it, if anybody's wondering why, and why I haven't done a video or anything on it. So we'll figure something out one way or the other. All right, 59 Ford. I have ordered some parts, but I don't have all the parts in yet. So what was the Belts Wrecker Service out of Tennessee, which I'll show you the manifold a little later. He actually sent me the manifold that was busted on this, one of the YouTube subscribers. So we've got it. We're going to get started back on this soon and get it together. So that just leaves me with a gas tank, radiator, and a few other odds and ends parts and stuff. And Of course, we got to do the brakes on it, but I want to get it together soon. And so it's just waiting. We'll do a drive and everything on it. The Studebaker. Okay. The engine start was a success, you know, an absolute success. Engine don't roll over fast with this starter. And, you know, I could order that gear reduction starter, speed it up, and probably get this thing to where it would start, but that don't mean it's going to be right. I'm still low compression, especially on number 4 here. It's still only reading 30 pounds. So, you know, our goal is to start it, and you can't judge anything until you start something. So, you know, we know it's got good oil pressure. We know it's not blowing smoke real bad. It smoked a little bit at first, but the guy I got it from told me that he had poured some transmission fluid down the carburetor, I believe. But so we know we've got a good foundation, and that's, you know, that's what you want to do is check and see if you have something good to work with to start. I mean, if, you know, this thing had been hammering and knocking, we knew we'd need to pull the engine out and do some work. But I think what we're going to do, we'll probably pop the hood off, so I'll quit hitting my head, and pull the top end down on this. Now you can actually take the intake off, the heads off, and not even take the distributor out. And there's no cross member under this pan. And we will pull the heads and stuff, look at the cylinder walls, and see what kind of wear it looks like we're going to have on them. And if it's a situation where it don't need bored, we won't bore it. I'm going to check the rod bearings. If it don't need rod bearings, I'm not putting them in it, because it's $21 per set of bearings. That's per cylinder. So times that by 8, and that'll tell you what it costs. So the parts are pretty expensive for this thing. But I can get a gasket set and a new set of rings, and we can go ahead and grind the valves and go through the heads on it. It does have hydraulic lifters. I didn't think it did, didn't know it did until I pulled the valve cover, and just wanted to check that out and make sure there wasn't, you know, an adjustment issue or bent push rods or something like that. But I don't see that as a problem. You know, I think it's a combination between probably valves not seating good and rings being stuck on this thing. And now the only other thing is I do have a line on a 374 engine, and you know, that's always a possibility. That's the only engine that I would replace this 352 with, is another Packard. You know, I don't mind the bigger cubic inch, bigger bore, but I'm just not, you know, I like this engine more than I like the car. May sound a little crazy, but that's just the way it is. I really like this. You know, I like old horsepower. I like really old V8s. The only engine I ever owned that I liked better than this one was probably I had a Seagrove V12 that was basically a Pierce Hero V12 engine that I had got running, built a stand for it, and the plans was to put it into an old car, and I ended up selling it to a guy up in Michigan. I kind of wish I'd have kept, well, no, I don't kind of, I do wish I would have kept it. But it was a beautiful engine. You know, the only difference between it and the Pierce Hero was it had 24 spark plugs instead of 12, because it was a fire truck engine. But really like the old stuff, especially the old performance stuff like this. So, you know, as long as I own this car, this engine will be in it, or another Packard engine. It won't get a small block or none of that stuff, because like I said, I like the engine better than I like the car, and that's just my personal preference, but that's the way it is. All right. Oh, and also, as for the tearing this engine down and doing an in-frame inside the car, let me explain that I don't restore cars, I repair them. And that's what we're going to do, is repair this engine to make it run right. You know, it won't be a fresh new engine in any way, shape, or form, but we'll fix everything that's wrong with it. And you know, if it runs right, that's, you know, we've done the right thing. So we'll see how it turns out. Okay, 51 Studebaker, getting ready to put the muffler on. We're going to go back to working on this thing some, see if we can get this knocked out. I'll put a mirror on here. I was going to take this one off because I don't have anything to put there. I just needed a mirror on it. But this door, you know, angles in so much that the mirror is not right. You can't get it in far enough to work. So anyway, I figure let's do a cold start. I have not started this thing today at all. And I did get the emergency brake working on it. You know, cars are like anything else. You know, they've all carbureted cars, and you know, any of you fellows that's been around this stuff will know this for sure. And you're the old school carburetor guys anyway. Every car seems like it's got its own little thing. You know, it's not like fuel injection where you just get in and you hit the switch and start it. You know, there's tricks to every one of these, and when you figure them out, you're fine. And I don't know the trick on this one yet. You know, some cars you get in, you got to pump it 10 times. Some cars you get in, you pump it once. Some of them you just you don't touch it at all. I mean, it's weird the way that you know, the carbureted engines work, but they all have their own personality. And if you know that particular engine, then you know, you sort of adjust what you do to that engine, and it works fine for you. And the next person might get in and not even be able to get it started. So, and I know any of you'll know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to pump this thing twice because, like I said, I don't know what the trick is yet. But we'll just give it a couple of pumps. Oil pressure's up, voltage is up. Good to go there. If everybody wants to go ahead and post on here that I need a new windshield wiper on this thing, you know, then maybe I'll know that I need to put a new windshield wiper on it. But until then, I guess I'm not sure. So anyway, when I was driving this, you noticed me adjusting the rearview mirror three times. And then when I pulled in the driveway, everybody said, you know, no brake lights. I knew I didn't have brake lights. That's why I was adjusting this mirror, because if anybody would have gotten anywhere near close behind me, I would have completely got off the road or out of their way before they even got to me. So, I mean, that's why I was worried about what was behind me. I didn't want anybody behind me, and that was the reason for the mirror adjustment. So we're going to work on that, work on the wiring, see if we can get some lights figured out, and actually a windshield wiper. I did get the vacuum windshield wiper motor working. This has only got one windshield wiper. I think I've actually got some windshield wiper heads in the back, and I do have a bunch of refills. All right, well, we're going to get to work on this thing. Don't think I've got anything else to update. 59 Ford, I'm still driving it. I haven't done anything to it. I need to work on the exhaust on it. The downpipe on the right side's got a hole in it. And besides that, should catch everybody up on everything, and I'll do a little work on this one. Okay, we got the exhaust done. It does have a little bit of a leak there. It's not bad, but we'll work with it. I've been starting and shutting it off and messing with the wiring so much I ran the battery low, so I had to charge it up. Generator is working, but it's just, you know, I ain't been running it. The battery hasn't never really been charged good to start with. So we're going to get back to working on the wiring, see if we can get the tail lights and get everything all wrapped up like it ought to be. Make sure the relay's working. Let me see, we got an overdrive. We got two overdrive switches that we need to check. And then of course the wire coming from the government. I guess it goes through one switch and then comes up to the other switch up here, which we've got to replace the ends of the wires on all this stuff. So we're going to keep at it, get some tail lights on it, brake lights, headlights are working. Probably going to have to put a headlight switch in it. They don't feel good. But everything else is fine. We got to get an air cleaner on it. And I think everything's going to be okay. I did get that mirror on there. I ended up putting it up top, just enough to have a mirror anyway, so I can find an original or one to replace the original that was there. So we're going to keep working on it, and I'll show you more. Okay, here's another thing I thought kind of cool. You know, you got your defrost, where you can change from defrost to heat here. This is aftermarket heated. Not even sure what brand. But this has got a water on and off. It's actually got a water valve that you turn to open up to let the water through. So we'll have to check that out. Now, it must have been open when I worked on it, because I did flush that out and make sure that the water flowed through it. I figured it would start leaking and we'd have to just cap off the heater hose, or not cap it, but, you know, run it around, but bypass it. But I don't see any leaks, so maybe it's going to be okay. Now we're gonna keep playing with these wires here. The engine does sound better though. It's not so loud in the car either. I like that. Alright. Okay folks, so there's our tail lights. And I don't reckon I can get in there and hit our brake lights while I'm back here, but the brake lights are working also. The overdrive, I haven't got the switches right yet, so we're working on that. But I'm actually broke down right now. I'm alongside of the road. I don't know what the issue is. I put 8 gallons of gas in this thing, and which is a 16-gallon tank, and there's no way that I've run that much out. But this fuel pump has quit pumping. And we're going to try to put some more gas in it anyway, and go ahead and prime it and get it running again, and hopefully get it going. My brother-in-law's actually bringing my pickup truck and some gas and stuff now, but don't know what the issue is, if this pump has went out or if maybe the pickup don't pick up off the bottom of the tank. I figured 8 gallons would be plenty. The trip you seen me take the other day on video was the only trip that I took, and you know, it could be sucking air somewhere too, but all the line is all new except for that little short piece between the frame and the fuel pump. So, and there's our muffler. Now, well, you can see it, but I just welded some old pipe together and put that muffler on. So I don't know, we'll get it figured out here, and I'll get this thing home, and hopefully we'll have a video before the night's up. Alright folks, we're back. Put some gas in it, and it did make it, but it started sputtering again on the way, so it's not that's not the problem. I don't think it's vapor locking. I have a feeling it's sucking air through that original piece of hose that I left on it, so we're going to try to change that out tomorrow. But we did get the lights all working and everything now. Just got to work on the overdrive. So, alright, appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, bye.